Welcome back to the VC3 News Update. I am Shanette Akshaw with the top local news stories. Following the opening of the African Export-Import Bank at CARICOM office officially in Barbados on Friday, members of the Nigerian delegation, which included the president and chairman of the board of directors of the African Export-Import Bank, Professor Benedict Orama, and former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and chairman of the Inter-African Trade Advisory Council, His Excellency President Olusegun Obasanjo, visited this country on Saturday to hold talks with state and private sector officials. After the discussions, the media was brought up to date on the outcome at a media brief held at the Louvre Hotel. The African Export-Import Bank's president said the opening of the branch in Barbados marked the official presence of the bank in the Caribbean, which is very pleasing to him. He said his team was in SVG to hold concrete discussions on how the bank can support the economy of this country.
We've discussed extensively the plans to make this country a major logistics hub in terms of development of and redevelopment of ports, development of industrial parks, and the development of ports and the expansion of cruise ship handling capacities. These are areas Flexing Bank expressed strong interest not only to fund, but also to bring investors that can work together with the appropriate authorities in the government to make sure that these are delivered in a timely manner and a manner that brings the full benefit the government is seeking.
He stressed that the bank supports the private sector as it is a trade bank with the aim of promoting trade and investments in Africa and the Caribbean. To facilitate this goal, Professor Orama said the head of the new office in Barbados will be making a visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And during that visit, we've received assurances from the Honorable Prime Minister that arrangement will be made for a roadshow that will involve the organized private sector so that the businesses will know the programs and facilities available to them. We also are hoping that the instruments we've used to support the development and redevelopment of hotels, tourism facilities, and the other services that are important to the islands here, that we're able to use them.
He said they are looking forward to an exciting working future with the Caribbean, not only in supporting the economy, but promoting trade and investment between the continent of Africa. And the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the chairman of the Intra-African Trade Advisory Council, His Excellency President Obasanjo, in his remarks, thanked the president of the African Export-Import Bank for his work since assuming his role. He explained that one of the major reasons why he travels with the bank's president is part of a very important innovation he has brought to the bank.
But about 4 years ago, we started a biannual trade fair every 2 years, where we have intra-African trade fair. The first one was in Cairo, the second one was in Durban, in South Africa, and the third one, COVID-19 disturbed us a little bit, but the third one will be in Cairo, 9
to 15 November.
15 November. And I cannot tell you how greatly this has been welcomed in the continent, and of course the Caribbean. CARICOM will now be part of this as a result of what the African office that has now been established in the Caribbean, in the CARICOM region.
His Excellency said Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has been a pillar of support in this venture, and the Saturday's visit was a fulfillment of his personal desire and appreciation for Dr. Gonsalves' strong and personal belief as a Pan-Africanist.
Meaning that everything that is involved in African, in the continent, African in diaspora, African issues, he is very much concerned and very much interested. And I must also say that coming here, I'm seeing what is going on and listening to the interaction between the Prime Minister and President Rama is very, very satisfactory to me, because these are things that I've worked for.
The African Export-Import Bank CARICOM office officially opened in Barbados last week. The bank will support the implementation of e-partnership agreements between the African Export-Import Bank and CARICOM member states, aimed at expanding Africa-Caribbean trade and investment relations. Miss SVG 2022 will be trying to repeat the success of Miss SVG 2018 Shalissa Nanton in capturing the Miss Caribbean Culture Queen title. Miss Jada Ross left the state last week for Nevis, accompanied by her chaperone, who incidentally happens to be Miss Shalissa Nanton. The show takes place tonight at the Nevis Culturama Complex. Miss Caribbean Culture Queen pageant is a regional pageant held in Nevis during Culturama. The other competing countries are Miss St. Kitts, Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, St. Martin, St. Thomas, St. Croix and Dominica. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the pageant was not hosted in the years of 2020 to 2022. This year will be the 15th anniversary celebration. VC3 extends best wishes to Jada tonight. When the show was held last in 2019, Kitts and Trinidad and Tobago were crowned joint Miss Caribbean Culture title. And finally, in our local news stories, residents in the communities of South Leeward and North Leeward are being encouraged to attend a series of 2 town hall meetings that will be held in the respective communities. The town hall meetings are being hosted by the Ministry of Public Service, Consumer Affairs and Sports through the Department of Consumer Affairs. According to a release from the ministry, the meetings serve as part of the department's National Consumer Protection, Empowerment and Education campaign, which is being held under the theme, Consumer Rights is Everybody's Business. The meeting in South Leeward will be held on August 17 from 5 p.m. at the Kittels Learning Resource Center, and in North Leeward at the Fitzhugh Government School from 5 p.m. Those are our local news stories. Continue watching on Channel 114 for regional and international news.